We turn now to Don Rogers, who is a line mechanic at American at DFW Airport. And Don, the line mechanics are overwhelmingly supporting AMFA. Why is that?
That's correct, Tim. The line mechanics support AMFA because if you look at the history over the last 40 years, the TWU, the IAM, and the Teamsters have been the lion's share of union leadership within our industry. And if you look at what they've managed to accomplish over that time, it's quite scary. They were the unions on the property at National, Aloha, Eastern, TWA, all these different companies that have gone out of business. We've got a few charts here that'll probably clear the picture up for you even more. If you look at this first chart here, it starts in 1950, and as you can see, the unionism is still on the climb until about 53. Ironically, that's when the large unions, the TWU, the IAM, the Teamsters, and some of their fellow AFL-CIO unions, created the AFL-CIO. And since that year, we've watched this chart drop alarmingly fast to where we are today. The second chart, it shows that very same precipitous drop in unionism with the red line, and then the blue line starts talking about what percentage of income the middle class has been able to garner. And as you can see, where we used to take about half of all wages and benefits were in the middle class back in '67, today we're down to about 46% of the wages and income go to the middle class. This would be chart 3. This is a chart that shows the locals that we would most likely be put into if we join the Teamsters. As you can see, these are very large and diverse locals. They have many different industries in them. The important part here is that the presidents of these locals, with the exception of Mr. Rash and Red, are not mechanics. They come from other industries. You say, well, Don, why is it important where these guys come from? Well, the answer to that is simple. The presidents of these locals appoint your business agents. Your business agents are the people who deal with the company on a daily basis on your behalf. If we're not large enough as a group, and we will not be in most of these locals, to be able to get the president, we won't be able to control who runs our business on a daily basis with the company. In short, please don't fall into the Teamsters trap. Our fourth chart shows the projected locals under AMFA. As you can see, the cornerstone cities and Tulsa would have their own local. They would remain in control of their daily business and their dues. If you compare these to the Teamsters, this is much better. Heck, if you look at it, even the current situation under the TWU, with the downsizing and the creating of 2 locals, one for the line and one for the overhaul, is much preferable to anything the Teamsters has to offer. Finally, chart 5. This is probably the most significant chart. It shows that the Teamsters have lost 113,000 members over the last 4 years. Now, the Teamsters love to sling mud at the AMFA, say they've lost members, say they don't have a lot of money, but they always fail to mention their shortcomings. The fact is, if you look at the Teamsters, very few members of our crafting class hold office in any of the locals we would be in. Furthermore, the entire leadership of the Teamsters airline division is made up exclusively of pilots. Why would anyone want to join that group? I think it's more important if you look at this, you look at what just happened at AirTran and at Southwest Airlines. AirTran was the Teamsters, Southwest was AMFA. During the merger, AirTran mechanics represented by the Teamsters would have only been required to get 35% of the Southwest Airlines mechanics group to call for an election. This meant with their size, they get credit for their entire dues checkoff, that they would needed to get 250 Southwest Airlines mechanics to sign cards to cause an election. Now one would say, why wasn't there an election at Southwest? Why couldn't the mighty Teamsters with 1.4 million members and $212 million in the bank, why could they not get 250 mechanics at Southwest Airlines to sign cards? The answer is the same as we said before, because the Southwest mechanics had personal experience with the Teamsters. They knew them for who they were, the lying and cheating, the stealing, all these things that they were not going to be party to again. So while it's true that the Teamsters were successful at United. They were successful only because those who were being sold a bill of goods didn't know them, just like we don't. So be careful, guys. Don't fall into that trap. Don't be sold that line of goods. Remember that the TWU has all the size and money anybody could ever want, and that's never done a single thing for us. We need accountability. We need majority rule. We need control. Sign an AMFA card today, and let's put democracy back in our union. Go AMFA.
Since we've had AMFA, it has been a very, very positive change. I'm making more money than I'm sure I would have than if we were with the IM or another one. And we just have a much better processes in place, like the grievance procedure. Negotiations are open. You can go observe contract negotiations, whereas before you couldn't. So there was always rumors of, secret deals and whatnot. That doesn't happen with the AMFA.
Bottom line, what makes AMFA a better union?
Because it's specific to aircraft mechanics and the related personnel. We don't have other work groups brought in to muddy the waters.